The unnerving part of it isn't that some men fail, it's how many slowly train themselves to become harmless. You can usually see it in the small things first: the alarms they ignore, the gym sessions they skip, the way they look for distraction the second life gets quiet. It's not weak in an obvious way. Quietly weak, the kind where your edge disappears little by little and you barely notice it happening. You stop pushing yourself physically, stop focusing deeply, stop doing difficult things consistently, and eventually your whole life starts feeling softer than it should. You can see it everywhere now. A guy starts getting disciplined, and people instantly call him obsessed, as if there's something wrong with wanting more for yourself. A man takes the gym seriously, and suddenly everybody acts like he cares too much, when in reality it's holding a mirror up to who they are too comfortable to become. Someone builds a business, sharpens himself, develops confidence, and people immediately start searching for reasons it doesn't count. And what's really weird, most of that reaction has nothing to do with him. Seeing another man move with purpose forces you to notice where you stop moving. That's why certain people irritate you instantly. Not because they're arrogant, usually because they still have momentum. Meanwhile, your own life starts feeling repetitive in ways you don't even talk about. You wake up tired, already negotiating with yourself before your feet even hit the floor. Your room feels stale. There's laundry sitting in the same corner for days, dishes sit in your sink for days at a time. And the dangerous part is how quickly all of this starts feeling normal. That's how avoidance slowly turns into identity. You stop thinking, I need to get myself together, and quietly start thinking, maybe this is just who I am now. That shift changes men, because eventually even your own promises stop sounding believable to you anymore. You say you'll wake up early, then hit snooze while already knowing you're not getting up. You tell yourself tonight will be productive, then somehow end up sitting at the bar at 1 a.m., half watching some woman you don't even care about but want to get with because she's there. And those moments leave marks, not dramatic all at once, just small fractures in self-respect, the kind that build slowly, until part of you starts expecting disappointment from yourself automatically. A man doesn't become weak the day he fails. He becomes weak the day he gets comfortable disappointing himself, and realistically, that creates a kind of exhaustion sleep can't fix. Not physical exhaustion, the heavier kind, the kind that comes from constantly escaping your own life. You can feel it when you spend all day overstimulated but somehow still empty. Switching chicks, wasting money, watching your hair thin out and your gut get a bit more pudgy over time. Meanwhile, basic things start feeling harder. The gym feels mentally exhausting before you even leave the house. You sit down to focus, then somehow reach for your phone before the work even gets uncomfortable. Even replying to people starts feeling like effort, and deep down, part of you knows why. Your brain got too used to you not being accountable, too used to comfort, too used to distraction every time discomfort showed up. So now silence feels loud and almost irritating. Stillness feels uncomfortable, like the feeling when your arm falls asleep because you slept on it wrong. You can actually feel yourself reaching for stimulation before your mind even settles. Checking your phone during movies, which ends up pissing your date off because she thinks you're talking to another girl when you're really just seeing if you lost money on a bet you took earlier. Now you're in the movie theater alone because she stormed out, but you already paid for the ticket, so you might as well stay. I mean, it sucks, but it is what it is, right? Because you still want confidence, you still want discipline, you still want a stronger life. But your daily habits keep training hesitation instead. And after a while, you stop trusting your own intentions. That's the part most men never say out loud. And eventually, you stop even feeling frustrated with yourself, which is worse, because now the drift feels normal. You see some men start rebuilding physical discipline again, training consistently, sleeping properly, getting outside more, doing difficult things on purpose so comfort stops controlling them. Other men don't try to reinvent their whole life overnight, but they interrupt the passivity earlier. Less dating without standards, less escaping boredom immediately, more finishing things they said they'd do. None of that looks impressive immediately, but internally, it rebuilds something important. Self-trust. And once a man trusts himself again, his whole presence changes. You can feel when a man stops negotiating with himself all day, his energy becomes calmer, but more solid. And to be honest, ego traps more men than failure ever will. A lot of guys would rather look detached than inexperienced, so they hide behind sarcasm, irony, pretending not to care too much. You can watch it happen constantly. A man wants to start creating something, but jokes first so nobody sees he actually cares. Someone wants to get stronger, but keeps delaying the gym until he feels ready. A guy wants a different life badly, but keeps surrounding himself with the same people holding him back instead of providing him the space to confront himself from a level of honesty. And eventually the hiding becomes automatic. You stop avoiding embarrassment, you start avoiding truth. Because trying seriously forces you to see exactly where you are. And a lot of men secretly fear that moment, not because they're incapable, because they know deep down they've been wasting years of potential. That realization hits hard, especially late at night when you are walking home alone for the first time in a while. Your phone battery's low, you open your front door to a dark apartment, but at least your dog greets you with unconditional love. Then you randomly start thinking about the man you thought you'd become by now. Part of you still remembers feeling sharper than this, more focused, more certain. Certain efforts would eventually turn into something meaningful. That disconnect really sucks and is probably more painful than men would like to admit. Some respond by dropping the performance entirely. Less talking, less fantasizing, more action, more structure, more consistency. Other men stop obsessing over huge transformations and rebuild confidence through smaller acts of discipline repeated daily. Keeping promises. Training even when they don't feel like it, even doing difficult things before comfort fully takes over the day. Both paths usually begin the same way, though, by finally telling the truth. Not the motivational version, the real version. The wasted time, the avoidance, the endless consumption, the quiet resentment toward men who still move with hunger and purpose. And because eventually the question stops being, how do I catch up? And becomes, what kind of man am I slowly becoming every time I choose comfort over growth?